Hello and welcome to SME TV. I'm your host, Angela Vithoulkas. W.F.H Working From Home is now the new norm for your teams. But what about you? What about your business? Where is it operating from? I don't mean literally, I mean where, as in online or bricks and mortar, or both. Are you resigned to being limited in your sales growth, or have you embraced the digital opportunities that are screaming for you? The solution could be video. Keep watching this episode of Let's Talk News to find out. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to support us and all SMEs. We encourage you to comment. In fact, jump in right now, tell us what you think, but more importantly, share SME TV. Our guest today is the Twitter king of video marketing, Keith Keller. Welcome, Keith.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm great. I'm working from home, but I'm getting it.
Now, just to put a little bit of context, you're from Melbourne and you're zooming in from Melbourne.
Yeah. Well,
how are you down there?
Well, it's very relevant today, isn't it? I mean, it's a very good point. I'm not in one of the suburbs that is in lockdown, but several of my friends are. We can't go to cafes. We can't go to gyms. We can't do all the things that we used to do 3 months ago as a normal course of life.
And so we had the issue of the pandemic affecting businesses because everyone went into lockdown and that was compulsory for so many of us. And then slowly we started to see the way out, and all the other states have kind of flattened the curve there. Victoria hasn't, and some of those areas, as you said, have gone back into lockdown. In fact, they've gone back into stricter lockdown with suburban lockdowns.
Very strict, yeah.
And the change now has been obvious that preparing for the new hybrid way of doing business is even more relevant because we considered the second wave, it's arrived for some of us, and we're not ready again, but we should be ready.
Yeah. Well, let's play that out. I mean, let's use an example for my personal life. I used to go to Bunnings on a Saturday and wander around, have a coffee, chat to my wife, look at the plants. Well, we can't do that anymore. I mean, such a simple thing.
You're not chatting to your wife anymore? Or you're just not doing that at Bunnings with your wife anymore?
What a great segue. We can't wander around. We can't amble around. Lifestyle choices have sort of got in our way. But I still need stuff from Bunnings. Bunnings is a business that sells stuff. So I go online, I buy it, I pay for it, I put it in the boot, and I go. I'm gone. I'm there a total of 10 minutes without the coffee and the wandering around. I still get my goods. I still get to do the garden in my own time in my house, but I just don't have the lifestyle shopping, if you like, the lifestyle choices.
What you're saying is you're giving us an example of how online sales and the way that those online sales and that messaging is presented forward, that's the new hybrid way of how we're going to be doing business. So essentially, you've reminded me many times before when we've been speaking on and off over the years that we have to be ready, even if you have a bricks and mortar business, you have to be ready, geared up for online sales and how you're going to connect with your customers.
Yeah, and I think that's the discussion to have first before we talk about whether video or live streaming fits into the puzzle, because you have to have your online offer. Another example, which I would never have in a million years have thought of, is that we ring up and we have our food delivered. I never used to go get takeaway. I love to sit in a restaurant and chat to the waitress and find out what the specials are and have a glass of wine and have a cup of coffee and have dessert if my wife will allow me.
It's the customer experience.
It's the experience. And you had a cafe and you know what that's like. And I love that experience, but we can't do it. But I still want to eat. So on Saturday nights, I ring up or I go online, I pay ahead of time, and they deliver it to my house. I still get to eat. I still get a Saturday night with some food that I'm not able to cook on my own because I'm quite a good cook, but I can't cook Thai red curry. And so there's an example of a business that is 5 minutes from my house that has adjusted to the new normal.
I think that the hospitality example there is really relevant because previously to COVID-19, hospitality was doing some home deliveries, and it was mostly and normally just the mainstream varieties of pizza, things like that. that people had always gotten home delivery. Suddenly, with COVID-19, hospitality businesses that weren't doing any home delivery have had to pivot, and they started to do home delivery or deliver packs so that you could have that experience at home of putting that meal together. And what that whole hospitality industry has discovered is that they can augment their sales or have a parallel revenue of sales stream coming in by continuing that home delivery phase that they were going through, only now they've got to step it up. So they have a much higher polished end product, if you will, for that online delivery service and what that whole experience means. But they are slowly reopening their doors to have that customer in-house experience again, but they don't want to lose that business that they got.
Well, I mean, you think about it. I mean, and I've actually asked this question of several businesses in my area. Do you deliver? No, sorry, hang up. If they don't deliver, they're no good to me. I'm not getting in my car and driving for 10 minutes and lining up on a cold night to get some Thai and possibly bumping into someone who's got the virus in Melbourne. That's very relevant. Whereas I could wait in my warm house with the heater on, and the meal is delivered to my house. They still get the business. They just have to deliver it to me. And I'm not that fussy. Sometimes I will go out and get it if it's a special type of cuisine type. That's only, but you know, Thai, Indian, pizza. Well, there's 3 of them within walking distance of my house. I've got the pick of restaurants, right? And the hospitality industry is a very good example because, you know, it's the businesses that step up. I want to support them, but I have to live within the restrictions.
That's right. And the second wave in Victoria is an obvious example of how quickly things can turn around and go bad or restricted again.
I mean, I could get a fine. If not in this suburb, but some of my friends could actually be pulled over by the police for picking up a pizza. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, but that's the world we live in. So why don't they deliver it to me? I still get the pizza. They still get their business. It's just a matter of flipping. Is it that hard? Is there this middle bit that I'm missing, or how can we help them? How can we help people do that?
So the main impediments there to stop them from pivoting properly is what platforms are out there in order for them to go online to seize those opportunities. Have they got that online functionality to seize those opportunities and leverage those opportunities? So are they capturing that data that's coming in? And of course, the other side, again, that we're hearing a lot about in the news over the last years or two is how some of those online delivery platform services are taking such a big chunk of their money in commission.
Uber and sometimes it's a very good example.
Yeah, well, they are. That's right, and I'm glad you said them. I'd love to say them, but the issue there is that they are taking sometimes 30% off the top of that home delivery phase because of the delivery platform. But interestingly enough, though, Keith, the COVID-19 has also, though, brought out collaborations of other types of platforms that have come forward during this time, offering their services for free. And that's promoted their online service offering product to the hospitality industry and saying, look at us, we're here too. It's not just Menulog and Uber Eats. We've got a platform that works for you, and guess what? You get to keep your IP and your data yourself. We don't leverage it against you. So we know that those platforms are out there. We know that we can collaborate with them. We know we can grow our business. But specifically what we're talking about today, though, is that video marketing could be the answer to leveraging and elevating your brand to a whole other level so you engage with your customer.
Well, I've got another example.
Good.
So we love, and I'm happy to say these names, I'm not supported by any of these companies. I love a brand called Ozito. They make
Ozito.
Yep. O-Z-I-Z, is it Ozito or Ozita? O-Z-I-T-A. They make gadgets where you replace the battery.
Right.
So I've got an electric pruner, I've got an electric whippersnipper, I've got an electric drill. All made with what's called skin only. You buy the product and you buy a separate battery and they fit, right? So I've got 3 products and 2 batteries. One battery's constantly on charge while I'm mowing the lawn, pruning the trees, drilling a hole in the roof. And they have a YouTube channel. So when I want to buy a new gadget, a hedger, for instance, or an electric mower, they've got a YouTube channel to tell you, here's our brand new mower, click here to buy it. or go to Bunnings.
Right, so you're saying that that video that they've done shows you the product in action so you can make a decision then about where you're going to go buy it.
That's right. You know, I haven't heard of this product before, but there's a video that tells me this is how you tighten the chain. This is how much oil you put in. Bunnings sells them, just go and buy one. That's the traditional video model, very static, pre-recorded.
Yep.
Yeah. So their videos are great. They're very hands-on. You can see the product and you know that they're available at Bunnings that you can buy at your leisure. Yeah. That's the video marketing model. The live streaming model is, I'm going to show you how to use it right now on Saturday at 11 a.m. So we're
talking now, it's still video, but we're talking about live streaming versus static video here.
That's
and
right.
This is where you've been doing a lot of your research and your experiments online lately have been all about whether live streaming can be more effective than the static video, and then what platforms it's more effective on.
I have. So the advantage of the video that's pre-recorded is you can get in the studio and you can get your lighting right, and you can get someone else to say, "Is that all right, guys? Have I got my hair right? Is Keith's hair in proportion to his desk? And can you hear him all right? And is that good?" And push, go, clap, on. And then once you're finished, you can edit it out and you can take out the bits that you don't like, and it's all very perfect. Now that's video 101. We know that.
Yep.
But the person that's going to buy your stuff is getting a bit sick of these artificially created videos that look great. And I'll tell you what, I've never been interviewed so well. I'm so excited. I got a mic check. They did a clapper. I mean, I've never had one of those. And so this video looks terrific. Nothing
but high end here, Keith.
That's right. HD. It looks unbelievable. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's desirable.
But I'm very curious, because you have been a proponent of live streaming. You've been a proponent of doing it live. You've got the data to back it up on how successful it is, and that the engagement from live streaming is phenomenal. And what you're saying is you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to have everything exactly right, because the audience, which is the customer, your sales funnel, they're not looking for perfect.
No,
they
not.
Just want you to be there and reach out to them.
So as an example, the Ozita, for instance, and Bunnings does this, or they did it in real life, they could say, you know what, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Australia, we will do a live stream demonstrating one of our products. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Zoom.com/Ozita demo, say. And we know that if we're up in the mood for an Ozito demo, we just log in and we watch it, and people do. Now, the advantage there is that people are engaged and they go, "Hey, I'm watching this live demo with this brand new Ozito product, and I can change the battery, and there's different strengths of the battery." And the power of live streaming is you can say, "Okay, now that I've got you, wherever you are in Australia, if you click this link right here, we will deliver this product guaranteed within 10 days or it's free." Something like that. You can have an offer, right? And I've seen this, like I've done this, and I've seen the sales just go through the roof, because people are going, "Hey, I got it. Like, I'm watching this demo and I want one of these things. I've always wanted one of them, and I can click here and get it delivered to my house like a pizza. And they're going to deliver it in 10 days. That's
so
great.
You're saying that the online opportunities of increasing your sales or capturing sales, or whichever way you want your call to action or your offer to be, increases, and you can measure that by live streaming being more effective than static video.
Yeah. Well, I'll give an example. The last time you interviewed me, that video, which is great, done on Zoom, has had 132 views. But I did a video the next day on Twitter taking a small snippet of this, using this analogy of social media, and that video has had 1,400 views. That one video, that one experiment had 10 times more exposure with the same content. And all I did was I took a small snippet of the video and put it on Twitter. And if you take that example into live streaming, it just multiplies.
But we acknowledge that you are the Twitter video king of marketing. So we acknowledge that. So we know that on Twitter you're going to get those high numbers.
Right. Yeah.
But what we are saying here is that live streaming for a sales perspective is effective because you can measure that, and you've measured and experimented. So there's data there, as you said. What about the fact that you can network online?
Oh, wow, that's
by live streaming.
That's the other thing too. See, I live in Melbourne. I live an hour from the city, and we can't, no one's flying into to Melbourne now. It became prohibited as from today for 2 weeks. No one can come in. No one can come to Melbourne. And
nobody wants to come to Melbourne right now, Keith.
No one wants to, even our suburb, which is not under lockdown. But you're never going to get here because you've got to get to the city, then you've got to drive an hour through the city and then out another hour. So why not do it online? We've met online. We've actually never met in person. You know that? Do you realise that?
I do realise that.
We've never met in person.
We've known each other for years.
Years. And so you can do everything that you can do in person except hugging at a networking event. You can do everything online. You can chat, you can share addresses, you can connect on LinkedIn and Twitter, and you can do everything. And I would argue it's better because you can record it. And how many events have we been to where we've heard all this great content and we just go home and we forget?
Well, I'm new to the online networking world, and I initially poo-pooed the idea of online networking because I thought, it's not the same as being physically present, etc. But in fact, the couple of networking events that I've been to online have been more effective. Because it's very much a captured audience.
Yeah, because, for instance, if you were at a networking event right now and we were chatting, I could DM you my LinkedIn profile.
Yes.
And chances are you would click on it and connect to me because we're in the online space. How many times have you gone to a networking event and someone shoves a card in amongst 100 other people, and you get home and you've got this mountain of cards and you go, well, one day when I got 10 minutes to myself, I'm going to go through all those cards and connect with those people on LinkedIn. But you never do, do you? You don't.
You don't know. And the concept of online networking is increasing. It's certainly the new thing that we need to get used to. It's also going to be much easier for event organisers and much cheaper for the attendees to get their head around, and we're all strapped for cash given what COVID's done. Keith, as usual, we always run out of time very quickly whenever we talk to you. But the important factor is to understand whether your brand is ready for live streaming, right?
You've got to have the offer.
You really need to have a look.
That's it. Just be online ready. Cash is going away. Make sure that someone can buy your product online. Click and collect, the Bunnings model. Can someone click and collect, or will you deliver it?
We can't click and collect you.
No, not necessarily, but I have
unless your wife wants to sell you online on Bunnings. She can have a live streaming event on how to use a Keith. If you buy a Keith, here's how you use him. Yeah, and just click and collect from her house, right?
Yeah, well, maybe like Bicentennial Man, they can make little robots of me.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today, Keith. To everyone watching out there in YouTube land, don't forget to subscribe to SME TV. Click the alert so every time we do a new video, you have it land in your inbox and you can watch it straight away. You can watch more of Keith Keller on Twitter and see what he's doing with all his live streaming events. We'll also put the link as to the new live streaming challenge that they've got going, and I'll tell you more about that in the content. And to the SMEA Association, thank you so much for backing us all the way and making SME TV possible. Keith, Lots of love.
See you later.
See you later. Thank you.